Right, I know it's been a while since I've actually done a video blog for people, but thought I'd get one out of the way now. I'm assuming everyone knows about the death of Jen Longhurst quite a while back and the new law that's come into effect now, which is classed as the Extreme Images Law by the government, which a lot of people are actually against, myself included, because it curtails quite a lot of what you would base human freedom on. Now, Death of Jen Longhurst, you can research it on the internet. I'm not going to go into details here, but the killer was a bloke called Graham Coates. Now, let me get this out of the way first. Graham Coates he was basically a killer and a rapist, pure and simple. He was not into any fetish acts. He was not into BDSM or any subculture. He was into rape, pure and simple. Okay, get that out of the way first. He was not involved in anything that would be classified in the scene or anything like that. Now, the new Extreme Images Law specifically states that any act caught on camera or image will be illegal if it depicts a scene that is violent, hazardous towards health, or anything like this. Okay, I've got no problem with any rape, any type of pornography that deals with rape, necrophilia, anything like that. That should be banned. That should be outright illegal. No questions asked. No problem there. But what the new government law is suggesting, that any images, and it is really vague here, which is the problem a lot of people have, any images that deal with anything like bondage, sadomasochism, anything like that is completely consensual between the two parties, that will now be illegal as well. Now, it won't be illegal to film these acts, and it won't be illegal to actually do these acts, but it will be illegal to own images of these acts or videos of these acts. This I find more than distressing in the least, because the government's now telling us that while it's legal to perform these acts, it's illegal to own images or video of these acts being done. This is crossing into an area, I believe, well, you can talk about George Orwell in 1984 all you want, but it's coming into thought police more than anything else. The government is telling us what we can and can't enjoy in the privacy of our own homes and the privacy of the bedroom. Now, I quoted directly from Mrs. Longhurst, who was the actual activist behind this law. She states that sometimes the freedoms of decent people have to be curtailed because of a few others. I don't see her freedoms being curtailed. All I see is the fact that the government is now saying that it is now illegal to own these images, which are perfectly legal to perform the act, perfectly legal to do anything about the act, but it's illegal to actually own the images or video of the act. This I find is a bit crap, a bit of bullshit here. Now, according to the BBC research, now this is actually taken from the BBC website, you can go and research this for yourself, over 25% in the UK have practiced or actually actively practiced BDSM. If anyone wants to check my figures, you can go on, Google this, give you a clue. In the UK alone, that's over 15 million people. 50,750,000 people that are being curtailed because of this one law. Try and get that into your heads for a minute. That's, a quarter of the UK alone, nearly 16 million people if I round it up. Now, take that to United States. Are they going to pass this law? Of course not. The government over there would never pass a law that would actively, ban people that have basic human rights to view images or view whatever they want in the privacy of their own home, as long as it does not break any laws. Pure and simple. This law does not prohibit you from performing the act. It does not prohibit you from actually doing anything like this. What it does do is prohibit you from viewing or downloading any images or video that have the act inside. Why? If Mrs. Longhurst is so against all of this, and I will point out again that the killer of Jane Longhurst was not into BDSM, he was not into any fetish, he was a rapist, pure and simple. He had nothing to do with the BDSM subculture. Okay? The BDSM subculture specifically states in one of its basic tenets, everything to do has to be run by the three laws, which is safe, sane, and consensual. Rape is none of the three, pure and simple. Okay? So, Mrs. Longhurst has actually created this law and passed it through Parliament and all this about something she knows nothing about. She's tried to curtail the freedoms of 16 million people on an act she knows nothing about. And the government has passed this law completely willingly because they believe in the moral upstanding of others. So, because of one person's acts, 16 million people are now having their basic freedoms curtailed because of something that had nothing to do with them, nothing to do with their subculture, nothing to do with anything they're into, but because of one person. Brilliant act of, the one person can change the world. Not so brilliant if you're actually into the BDSM subculture or anything like that. Because as of now, this is the first step to making any kink, any BDSM, anything like that, completely illegal. Here's the kicker. If you actually look on the More4 website, you can Google this quite happily, you can locate a couple of years ago, I think it was 2007, 2008, you can actually find the More4 people actually did an interview with one of London's dominatrixes and actually talked to her about several laws that were coming into effect. This one wasn't mentioned, by the way. And, what she actually thought about it. All of these thoughts and everything that people have written into the government about actually not completely dismissing this law, but actually narrowing it down to what people actively think should be banned and should be left alone, completely ignored. According to the law now, any extreme images depicted in pornography will be completely illegal. Why? I don't understand this, and I don't understand why freedoms are being curtailed because of one person that doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. According to Mrs. Longhurst, it's the fact that people who view violent pornography may become killers, rapists later in life. Fine, okay, so we'll ban alcohol and driving then. Drink drivers cause more deaths than anyone involved in BDSM culture per year anywhere. Fact. Check the figures on the internet, it's a fact. Now, because driving and alcohol cause more deaths, shouldn't they be banned and made illegal as well? Why not? According to this law, if it's going to cause deaths or likely to cause deaths, it should be illegal. So why haven't they been banned? Because the government doesn't like to curtail the freedom of that many people. It's okay curtailing the freedom of people who are into BDSM and people who are into the subculture, but anything that actually deals with moral standings that the government likes, no, we can't deal with that, you can't have to stay away from that. I thought this place was supposed to be a democracy, the UK was supposed to be a democracy. Sorry. Curtailing the freedoms of over 16 million people on one person's say-so, that ain't a democracy. Just don't agree with this one bit. No one should have their freedoms shipped off and just ignored just because one person says it may happen. Bullshit. Sorry, don't like it.